leave it there.
All right, for sure. I'll put it like right in front of the camera.
Okay. I didn't know it was coming today. All right.
Yeah, a day earlier, you know.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
That is pretty neat. All right, we had to move her off the bench. All right, so now we are gonna move her out of here. Wow. I did not expect this to get here today. Oh, there we go. All right, let me move this butte right here. Here she is. Wow, seems really concave. All right, so first impression, out of the box, the grip tape is not set on the board. On both the front and the back, I pushed it in already. But first thing I'm noticing, again, it's just first impressions. The deck looks very nice. I do see some swirl marks, a little blemish here or there, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm sure once I go on a maiden voyage here, I'll get this grip tape to stick it back down. Let me see if it is aligned properly. It looks so. See, I'm switching from my glasses to my phone here, but yes, I just took the wheels from the box, put them on the board. We're going to install those here shortly. Let's get back to the rest of the unboxing. So you already saw, here's a T-tool here. All right, what do they have in here? I got to bend this box, keep folding over. All right, sorry about that. So we've got, this is for the nuts, wheel nuts. Okay. Here are some bushings. Suspension soft, put that there. We've got some spare belts. Gotta love spare belts. Set that right there. All right, suspension hard. Where are my blue? Okay, there they are. I was about to say, it's supposed to come with blue. Nut. All right, next we've got a Radium branded 9-amp charger. I expect this to perform identical to the stock 9-amp charger that came with my LinPower 1 Prime over there. That's a 9-amp charger as well. Let me see if I can zoom in. But yeah, it shows all the data. It's got a screen. So I think this is derived from the Wind Power team. Maybe not, but yeah. Very good charger so far. It's reliable if it's the same manufacturer. Yeah, should perform very nice. This one has, what is that, a fuse? Okay, so this one has a fuse on it. The other one doesn't, so maybe this one is made even better. Interesting. But I do like that it is Radium branded. That is nice. Let me see if I can. Alright, then in here we got all the connectors to the charger. Cool. So let's install the wheels. Alright, so I just took this protective cap off. That's a nice touch. I've never seen that before on any board that's been shipped to me. So I like that. Attention to detail. I'm gonna watch Kami Jun's video really quick because I want to make sure that this is all correct before I put the wheel on, or make sure that I install this correctly. So let me watch that real quick, and then I'll jump right back to putting this on. Alright, so it's one washer in the back and then two in the front. So, hey, I like to double check, y'all. Rather be safe than sorry. So let me take that off. Right. Is that set in all the way? Well, they both look identical, so yeah. Look like it maybe could go in a bit more, but it's not flush, but maybe it's how it's intended. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Gotta give it the good old spin and shake. Alright, so this was in the bag with the wheel locks. So I assume these are instructions, so let's read it together. Cool. Alright, so these work as wheel locks. Alright. I like a board that stands out, y'all. You know, I like a... I like to stand out from the crowd. You know, I know black's a popular color. I need mine. Like, I'm gonna customize a grip tape on here, I think. I need to figure out how to, nice. I like that. Loosen that up just a tad. Oh man, I know I'm gonna enjoy this board for sure. Alright y'all, so I'm gonna fast forward or skip through putting on these wheel locks. I've already showcased one, so it's gonna be the same for every wheel. And you gotta take off the old nut with the tool, and then you gotta pop the custom wheel lock remover on to install the new locker. And it looks really nice. It's not centered, but it looks nice. Alright, so I was working on the last wheel here, picked up the last nut, and I was trying to, you know, get it on the thread. What is that? I'm not sure what that was, but yeah, let's see if it'll slide on there now. We're good to go. All right, so locker. So one thing as I'm tightening this last wheel here, I feel like they should have shipped maybe a spare as well, because I would want to keep one of these at home and then one on the go, because now it'll make me anxious because if I lose this piece, then either I'm going to damage the surface and the paint and scratch it up with other tools, or just lost, and then I gotta wait a while for a new one to come in. So I might just keep one designated on a T-tool, and to help me keep track of that. Alright, so we've got the wheels assembled and the wheel locks installed. Alright, so I did go ahead and purchase the bash guard / carry handle grip or whatnot from Radium at the same time I purchased this board. It came early, well before the board arrived, so I'm going to install this as well on the board, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. And after that, the board should be fully assembled from there, and then I'll power it on and rev the motors a bit and call it a day. All right. So I assume this goes right there. Yep. And first take live, and it fits. One thing though I'm going to point out, sorry, I've got to do it, Radium. Looks like this is a 3D printed piece. This is not aligned. And so if you guys are watching, yes, I am a nitpicker, okay? I do look at the details because I do have high expectations. And you know, and just general expectations when I'm purchasing a board. Right, everything looks great, a few things here and there, but I do want to point out that this handlebar that I received is not symmetrical, so if you have OCD, that might drive you crazy. I think once I get it on here, I will ignore it. It's feel very ergonomic. If you look at the bash guard on the Lin Power 1 Prime, which is great because it's never come loose on me. It's not very comfortable to hold, and I look at it as more of a heat sink for the motors and the board or whatnot to cool off rather than like actual comfort. But this looks comfortable. This looks ergonomic, and this feels great. I know it's going to feel great on the board. Alright, so we've got the board fully assembled. We've got the bash guard installed, handlebar, whatnot. So now I'm going to power on the board. Right? I like that attention to detail there. Radium custom. This is identical to a Lin Power remote. Let me go grab that really quick. Alright, so yep, this is my Lin Power remote here. Just comparing the two. Yep, I guess Lin Power's logo is on there too. So yep, it's Radium's version. Different symbols on the buttons there. Yeah, everything's exactly the same. Just custom to the brand. So let's power it on. Quiet. I don't hear anything. I don't hear ESC. Okay, it's connected. Oh yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah, okay, so it was in. Okay, it's topping out. It's not fully charged, so I'm sure it'll be a little fast. Oh, that sounds great. Wow, sounds fantastic. Alright, before I go, I just realized that I did not show the underside of the board at all. So let me do that. I'm going to leave the plastic on because I'm actually going to wrap this enclosure. There it is. Actually going to wrap this enclosure in white. But can see some carbon fiber. Okay. I thought it was carbon fiber all around. Actually, I guess I'll have to take it off anyway. I wonder what this indicates here. What that means to radium. So just looking at the paint, you can see. Alright, looks alright. Looks pretty nice. Got the bushing system under here.